What's going on, fam? This is Judah Love. Judah Loves Lifts 7X, the invite code. To invite you out of poverty. What you'll have to do to get out of poverty is to work. You got to put your time in. You got to have something. You got to exchange your poverty for hard work, determination, a planned out position that you are not going to be in the same position that you started. If you started in a bad position, you're coming out of a bad position. And you're going to guarantee it to yourself because you're going to do things that's opposite of what you were doing. What you were doing when you were in a low state, you're not in that state anymore because your mindset is different. Wherever your mind goes, you have to follow it, and it has to follow you no matter what. You putting God in it. God is who you putting in it. And when you put him in, you can't help but win. You can't help it. You're gonna win. Just have that in your mindset. Put it in your mindset. You can never lose. You'll always win. When you have that in your mindset that you'll always win, you will never lose. And that's the beauty of being one with our Father. He knows, he's been through it all. He's the Ancient of Days. The Ancient of Days. That means that there was no darkness. He's the Ancient of Days. It's always been daylight in his house. It will always be daylight in mine. When I keep him in the state of mind that I'm in right now. The state of mind I'm in is that I can't lose because I choose to win. I choose it. I have a choice, and I can choose life. I can choose life or choose death. I can do that. I've been instructed by the Creator who created me, who breathed into me the breath of life. If he breathed into me the breath of life, why am I worried about the strife? There is no strife. Only the strife I accept, not the strife that has been kept. You cannot keep strife because there is none. Do not accept that there is strife in your life because there isn't any. There's no strife in your life. You have to say that to yourself over and over and over again. No matter how it looks, it's only that way temporarily. I'm living proof of that. Living proof. I am an answered prayer. And I intend to live in this blessed answer. I came here with nothing. I came to Grand Rapids with nothing. And I do mean zero, zilch, nada. I came here with nothing. And now I have like 3 or 4 businesses. I have a good paying job. I have a good place to stay. I have a car I own outright. I'm thankful to God that I have these things. Because if it wasn't for God and me knowing that he could see me out of it, it wouldn't have happened. I don't worship God from a religious point of view because he did not give us religion. He gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. And that is the key of what we needed to get us out of any situation. As long as we keep his laws, observe and follow his statutes, and obey his commandments, we can't lose. It's impossible for us to lose if we're following his laws, statutes, and commandments. We cannot. Because to me, his laws, statutes, and commandments mean we live forever. We keep his commandments and live. We can't, it's impossible for us to die because we're pure energy and pure thought. And if we're thinking about God, who's the Ancient of Days, we believe in God, who is the Ancient of Days, we follow God, who is the Ancient of Days, he gave us the choice to follow his law, statutes, and commandments, or not follow his law, statutes, and commandments. And he gave us the advice to choose life, that our days may be long. If our days are long and we follow God who gave us the law, statutes, and commandments, he did not give us religion. Religion won't make you get closer, make you feel like you're in heaven. It's just going to be a feel-good, emotional, joyful moment. It's like a joyful song. And unfortunately, we won't go to heaven that way. We can't get to heaven that way. The only way we're getting to heaven is if we keep his commandments and live. We do exactly what he says, exactly the way he said for us to do it. And if he ever gives me the chance to handle that, you best believe it's handled. It is handled. And if we don't handle it, we deserve what we get. We cannot get mad at God if God says, I want you to follow me and do what I say. And if we're not doing what he says, we can't be upset if things aren't going right. Because if they're not going right, it's because we're not going right. We have to do what he said. We can't do what we want. We got to do what he said. Not what we want, but what he said. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it. We're just going to do it. And that's just how it's going to get done. I love who I am. And more importantly, I love how I am. I love God and I love his laws. He loves me the way he made me. He made me to love women. He didn't make me to love a bunch of dudes when I'm a dude. That didn't make no sense. He didn't make me to embrace a woman wearing pants when she should be wearing a dress. And nor should I embrace a dude wearing a dress when he should be wearing pants. And these brothers run around here with their pants on their butt. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. But everyone has their process in which they go through things. They have to go through things so that they understand it and see it. They see it from their point of view, because of how they grew up in the environment in which they're in. They're in an environment that speaks to them in a manner that has them feeling a certain way, thinking a certain way, acting a certain way. And in some cases, that might be means of survival. Case in point, I had a friend at my job who was extremely effeminate. And he was effeminate, and he told me when he was growing up, it was just him and his sisters. And he stated that at the time, there were some very forceful male influences in the area in which he was dwelling. And as a result, he had to carry on mannerisms that proved that he was not the alpha male. Because if he showed any aspiration to be the alpha male, other than the males who wanted to be alpha, they were going to kill him outright. So he carried on a certain mechanism that he used so that he could stay alive. And over time, he got used to it, and he probably felt that it was something that he felt he needed to do, because he felt like he could maneuver through this maze of hell in that certain aspect. I myself, I don't care. I'm not that way. And I'm not going to do that. I love women, and I'm never going to stop loving women. I love them to death. I love them to death. Now, that don't mean I'm going to love them so much that I'm going to kill myself or love them so much that I'm gonna kill her. That don't make sense. That's illogical. I'm talking about having family. That's what I feel it's about. It's about family. It's not about me running around here trying to be other than what God wants me to be. I'm not going to do that. It will not happen here. I'll meet her. She'll meet me. We'll meet us. We will do our thing. We're going to have our children. We're going to have our grandchildren. We're going to have our great-grandchildren. And on and on and on and on. We just got to do what God said. And God's telling me to keep his commandments and live. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be blessed in everything that I do when I'm doing his will. Not when I'm doing somebody else's, not when I'm doing my own. Because my will is to do his will. And I'm going to keep it real till the wheels fall off.